Hello, welcome. In my last tutorial of Angularjs, I have explained what is the need for Angularjs so that we can establish a proper MVC structure in the front end, and in the declarative fashion we can do many things. So in this tutorial I will do some further exercise on Angularjs. So let me first open Notepad. Suppose I want to display one list in HTML. So let me write basic HTML. So I'll write HTML and then head and then title Angular exercise part 2 and then the title and then slash head, and I will write the body tag, body slash body and then slash HTML. So in HTML we have a syntax, we have a tag called unordered list, that is ul, and then slash ul. I will write each and every element as li and slash li, li slash li. Suppose there will be 4 elements, okay, 4 elements. Let's say I will write two things. One is name and then dash the roll number. So let's say my name, roll number 1, and then Alex, roll number 2, then John, let's say roll number 3, and then Patrick, roll number 4. So there are 4 items I have written, and then I will save it as a HTML file. I'll save it as a HTML file. Let's say I type it as Angular exercise 2.html. See, now I can run it. So I'll go to that folder, and inside the folder I have this, and I will prefer to run it in Chrome. So I open with in Chrome. So what is the problem of this structure? The problem of this structure is that the data, so this is my data, so data part is also inside that UI part. So this is actually can be injected from outside, or I can create it and control it by Angular. So Angular is a framework to do these things. So I have run it. So let's say this is doing by this, so I will change it to Angular. So how I will do it? So what I have done, I have downloaded the Angular min.js and pasted in the current folder. So this is the Angularjs file. So I will just copy the name of that file, Angular min.js, and I will include it inside one script. So script and then source equals to dot slash Angular min.js slash script. So now how I will convert this page into Angular page? As I have said that every page which has to be converted into Angular, that will start with a tag ng app. So here I am writing ng app let's say my list app. So now this part I have to control through a controller. So I will do it in this way. I'll write one div, let's say the id is equal to list div, and here I am writing ng dash controller equals to, this is my list controller, and then I am ending this div by slash div. So it's a ng controller, my list controller, so ng controller. So now what I will do, I will try to initialize the Angular framework. So for that, what I have to do, I will write a script tag and I will create a variable, let's say my list app equals to Angular dot module. Inside the module I write the my list app. So this module I want to load as Angular, and like this I can initialize my Angular module, and when this is done, then I can add the controller. So I can add a controller like that app dot controller, then I have to write down the controller name. So this is my controller name, and now what is that controller? So that I will send as a second argument. So first I will enclose it, and here, and that will be a function. So I will write the function here, this is the function, and then the function name. So my list controller, let's say I give a same name, you can give different name also, and then bracket start bracket end, this is called argument, and function second braces start and second braces end. So that's all. And now, so inside that function I will write what this controller will do, and this controller will have one input parameter, that is $scope. As I have told, that $scope is the scope for that controller inside that Angular app. So Angular app, each and Angular app has a root scope, and every controller has a local scope. So this $scope will be injected by the Angular framework by the dependency injection. So if you don't know dependency injection, you can learn IOC and dependency injection. I may create a separate tutorial for that. So this scope, $scope, will be injected by the Angular framework, and that scope is relevant for this controller. So this is $scope, and now this $scope, inside the $scope I will put the student details. So $scope dot students, so this will be a array. So I will start with the third braces, and so I will start with the third braces and end with the third braces and semicolon. So before writing the inner things, you just close the braces so that it will help you to understand better. So this is the thing. And now each and every element will start with a second braces and end with a second braces and then comma. So as we have four things convert here, four data I have to send inside the scope. So I will write 4 like this braces, and now each thing will have two things. One is the name, another is the roll number. So I will, for readability, I am doing like this, and so first is the name. So name is a property, so I will write name and property semicolon, and then I will write the name. So what is my name? Here the first name is this, and then the roll number. So name and then comma, the second property, roll number, that is 1. So it is done. So same thing I have to repeat for the another 3 student. So I'll copy it and paste it first. Now what we will do, I will copy this and paste the data. Let's say it's no. So I'm copying and pasting. So it's now 1 and then 2 and then 3 and then 4. So now what I will do, so this is my data which is actually actually is now complete. So I have students which is attached with the scope of this ng controller, and in the students I have put one array, and inside the array each and every element has two properties, one name, another is roll number. So how I will then manipulate it from here? I will delete all the other list tags. I will only be using one list tag, and here what I will do, I will use one tag, a Angular tag ng repeat, and what it will repeat, it will repeat student. So this is the variable name inside the scope student. So if I write like this, student in students, so it is like a for each loop in Java, that is for each and every students. So each and every element of these students it will repeat, and for every element it will assign into that variable student. So this student I will be using inside that list index. So what will be that? So actually I can put it inside a span, let's say it's a span, and then I will end the span, and there is another span which I will be ending with a span, and two spans in between there is a dash. So in the first span I will print the name. So I will use the expression tag, double second braces start and double second braces end, and now the property, which property? The name property, for each and every element of the student. So every element is assigned into student. So I'll write student dot name and The same thing I will be doing here also. It will be student dot roll number. So now you can see that this portion has become declarative and the data has been separated from the view and it has been put as a separate, and through Angular it is getting injected, and also assignment and everything is doing, the Angular is getting controlled by the Angular. So let's test it. So here I will write that transformed into Angular. So here I will give one heading tag. So then I already opened this, so I'll just refresh it. See, it's now transformed into Angular and the data is getting printed. So the beauty is that it is getting now controlled by the Angular framework. So in this tutorial I have explained one Angular framework's one important feature. So I have explained three tags. One is ng-app, another is ng-controller, another is ng-repeat. Hope you have enjoyed this video. In the next session I will cover more things. Thank you very much for watching my video. Bye bye.